I'm Russ Jones. I do promotions and marketing, VP, lifestyle marketing and promotions for the RCA Music Group. So primarily my job is promotion and marketing. So it's exposing music, via various outlets, specifically radio being the key and most important one for us right now in hip hop and R&B. So that's one hat that I wear, and I also do lifestyle marketing, which is, I run the rap and lifestyle marketing department. We do mix show promotions. We deal with DJs from the club, radio, college, and professional mainstream radio level. So mix show and DJs is still a very important way and a tool and a process in which we break a record, because they're the ones that take a song to their station or to their music meeting and say, yo, this new A$AP Ferg Shaba record, I played it uptown in my club, or I played it in Brooklyn last week, and boom, the reaction was crazy. Yo, Ebro, you need to start playing this record. Pretty good. Yeah, A$AP Ferg did everything possible last week.
That's awesome.
Hot 97, Power 105, Sirius, did a sold out warehouse show in Brooklyn at the Electric Warehouse. We had people literally hanging off the ceilings. He did that and then went to the city and shut down the vape store in the village and had people waiting online since the day before to pick up the album, and also the 20-year anniversary vape shirt, which was a collab with Trap Lord. Coming up at Electra Entertainment, there are several people that were there at the time now, and remember, I was 17 when I first started working there, officially hired, so.
Awesome.
But just being there at the time was really motivational for me, and how they really just embraced me and my ideas, knowing that having a 17-year-old executive in the or employee at the company was beneficial to them, because I was the closest thing to the market, whereas most of these executives wake up in the morning, go to work, leave work, they might go to a dinner or to a matinee or something, but then they're going right back home. But I'm in the clubs every night. I was DJing at the time, so I was out, till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning every other night spinning, but then also being in the office by 9:30 the next morning to pull up all my reports for my bosses at the time. Good. Yeah, man, that was crazy how that came about. It was actually a surprise. One of the publicity executives here at the company told me that one of the girls from Billboard had reached out to her about me, because she had heard about my journey in the business and what I've been able to accomplish at that time. So it was just so dope, doing the interview with them and learning about who I was going to be included in that list with, who were some people that were so much more accomplished than me. It was actually a really motivating thing for me. I said, wow, I like this. I need to be under 40, because unfortunately now I'm about to be 33 next month. So, party's over. I think the music business has been forced to evolve the same way that any other, big companies and Fortune 500 companies had to evolve. So I think the music business has hit a strategic inflection point over the last 10 years, and it looks like, that we're finally starting to level off. And now with iTunes being the biggest music retailer, and iTunes having very good relationships with labels, you've got streaming companies like Spotify and Pandora and etc. who work really well with us as platforms to introduce new music and to get people to share music and hopefully end up buying music. I think digital sales have really helped the industry tread water. So it's like you don't have the profit from albums sales to sustain the company, but you do have singles. And nowadays the singles market is as big as it's ever been, because you want a song, you go on your phone, within 5 seconds you can purchase it. So it's very, so what I'm looking for, very impulsive music market, I think. The metrics are amazing. You watch an artist perform on American Idol, and you look, the next day you go back on iTunes and you look at the specific time that the artist performed and correlate that with the sales for a single. It's direct reflection of how impulsive music purchases are now. Because back in the day, you see something you like, you got to put your clothes on, go downstairs to Tower Records, right, or go to wherever you used to go, HMV. But I think the music business is really in a good point, and I know RCA Records has a very, very aggressive digital marketing department, and we work hand in hand with them, because just like radio stations have made it a very important initiative for them to grow their presence online, we obviously have to do that as well. I think I'm always, as a marketer, as a hip hop fan first, but as a marketer now, and somebody that appreciates campaigns and interesting and revolutionary ways to sell things, I think that, I mean, you can go back to what he did with that book, Decoded. You can go back to what him and Kanye did with Thrones, and how that was one of the only albums that hadn't leaked. It didn't even have any leaks at all because of the way that they were able to contain the music and the process in which they rolled it out. I think Jay-Z does an amazing job every time he comes out with revolutionizing the way he releases his albums. And it's ill because an artist like Jay-Z isn't competing with anybody except himself and his legacy, right? So everything he does now is for people 20, 40, 50, 100 years from now when we're sitting in an NYU campus or NYU class and they're doing the study on Jay-Z. All this now is just, I think, adding more depth and adding more layers to his legacy. I think the misconception that artists have is that you have to make a huge splash, or everything you do needs to be big, or you need a certain amount of numbers, you need a certain amount of followers, you need a certain amount of YouTube hits, you need a certain amount of whatever, and you don't, because especially nowadays where anybody with any sense understands that these numbers can be manipulated. Label doesn't say, well, we can't sign him, we're not interested in him, we don't want to fly him in because, or her in, or this artist in because they only have 20,000 Instagram followers. What it is those numbers don't add up, right? So if I go to somebody's YouTube page and find that they have 1 million hits on a video, but then you go to their Twitter page and they've got 200 followers or 3,000 followers, I think that can be counterproductive, right? The manipulation, and because you're not focused on the right thing, you're not focused on your groundswell, you're not focused on acquiring and making new fans and people that will basically work for free because they'll be talking and posting and retweeting. So you're missing so many key steps because you're not doing the work that comes into getting those followers, because that work that you do is not only going to reflect your follower numbers, it's going to hit all types of other areas too that are important to your project. So I just think that manipulation and just artists thinking that you have to have a certain number of anything, even BDS spins. People come and say, yo, I got a song that's got 400 spins. Well, how many sales does it have? How many shows has the market? Oh yeah, I see that he's got 35 spins in Milwaukee and 20 spins in Chicago. How many shows has he done in those markets? And has, does he have street teams? Does he have a fan base? Does he have, people out there working for him? So just to go back to your original question, what I suggest is people use their network. Use your personal network. There's nobody that's gonna go harder for you and help you get your shit out than your cousin and your auntie and your girlfriend and all of her friends. They're fans of yours, and that one friend is sending it out to 50 of her friends, and that 50, who knows, maybe one of those 50 people is a tastemaker that's got 20,000 friends. Don't ever underestimate your network of people that you have, because it has to start with them. When this is all said and done, I hope that people are remembering me by the mark that I've left culturally in the game, and I guess just in the world, and for people to enjoy and for people to appreciate when I'm long gone. I think there's something to be said about music and how it doesn't have an expiration date, right? So it's a product that never gets old. Might get a little stale, might get a little, I'm so tired of this, but there's certain things that just will be around forever, and I hope that within the next stage of my career, I'm able to touch and to produce and to be around and to orchestrate some timeless classic material that people will be doing case studies on in the next 500 years.
What up? Russ Jones, RCA Music Group, chilling with my peoples from Future Eye Magazine. They got the newsstands on Smash. They got the internet on Smash. You can walk over to the iTunes store, or you can't really walk to the iTunes store, but you can thumb your way over to the iTunes store. They got that on Smash too. So I got to chill with my peoples. Future Eye Magazine, what up?